West Coast League action is back in town, everybody. After a Festivus day celebrating the nation's birthday, the Lefties are ready to do battle with the Wenatchee AppleSox for the fourth time in the past week. I'm Evan Schmeiser, everybody. It's an absolute pleasure to be back with all of you. It's been a little while, but glad to be back with all you guys. A lot to catch you up on. I'll be more than happy to do it for you. And we have plenty of time to do that as well. The AppleSox controlled yesterday's game from start to finish. Wenatchee jumped all over the league strikeout leader, Drew Standen, with 3 runs in the first, 1 more in the second. Garrett Gores for the AppleSox went 8 shutout innings, scattering just a couple hits, no walks, striking out 11. The Lefties looking to get back on track as they begin the second half of their season. I'll explain a little bit more about that just a little bit later on. Oh, just about ready to get going. Colby Schuber will draw the start for Port Angeles. He was a late addition to the team, came in a couple weeks ago, June 21st, be the 4th time he's pitching, 3rd start. He's gone 13 total innings, striking out 11, only scattering 5 walks. He's been really good with a 2.76 ERA. So he's looking to give the Lefties a really strong outing tonight, especially against the Northern Division leading AppleSox. Frankie Carney digs in the left-handed batter's box, shows bunt, pulls it back. The pitch is called a strike. We're underway, everybody. 6:33 Pacific Standard Time, 72 degrees on the dot. Check swing at a changeup, and Carney went around, 0-2 the count. Lefties wearing their orange top jerseys and the black pants with the pinstripe. The AppleSox wearing their baby blue tops with the gray pants, as that one is sprayed foul up the third base line. No breeze in sight. Didn't think I'd ever say that at this ballpark, especially some of the weeks we had with just the flags whipping like crazy. It's been a warmer few days out here. A few days touching the 80s even. Swung on and missed at a high fastball. Carney goes down on strikes, and a good start for Schuber. As Mason Strong will dig in for his first at-bat, we'll take a look at the rest of the AppleSox lineup. Strong will be followed by Easton Amundsen, one of the league's leading hitters. Josh Williams will hit cleanup. Kyle Hennington will be the 5th man. Nick Putnam, the catcher, bats 6th. Izzy Lopez will hit 7th. Reeve Boyd will be the 8th man. Sebastian David, the designated hitter, bats 9th. As that first pitch is lined foul down the right field line into the grandstands. Mason Strong went 0 for 4 yesterday. Played sparingly for BYU in 2022. Same goes for playing it for Oklahoma last spring. Outside 1-1 to count. Schuber working quickly out of the windup. He kicks and deals. Curveball stays high, 1-1 the count. I know I've mentioned it a couple times, but more of an old school delivery we're seeing from Schuber. As he kind of takes his hands back over his head as he kicks his foot back a little bit. That one's on the ground towards the hole on the left side. It'll get through for a base hit. So Strong with a 1-out single. Not hit particularly hard, just got it towards the right spot. Now I'll bring up Amundsen. The league leader with 6 home runs. Also comes in top 3 in the league in RBIs and runs scored. His first 4 games against the Lefties, though, Port Angeles has kept him quiet. He was 0 for 6 last week in that 3-game series in Wenatchee. 0 for 5 last night with 3 punch-outs. That one's popped up. Foul territory. MJ Kim, the third baseman, is able to make the easy grab. So one pitch, and the dangerous Amundsen stays quiet against the Lefties. So 2 away, and that'll bring up Josh Williams. Williams did not play last night, hitting .320 overall. Couple doubles and 3 RBIs. Schuber looking to pick up a 1-2-3 inning. First pitch misses high. So Williams in the game to play right field today, of course not in the lineup. Schuber will check on the runner, soft toss, and Strong goes back in with a dive. Yeah, so in yesterday's ball game, coming in the 8th inning, had a questionable call at first. That one's look out. That one was ripped foul. That nearly nailed a Lefties player down there. It's been a common occurrence, both teams sitting right in front of the dugouts with that big plank of wood surrounding the backstop. You get some big bounces off of it. Can't quite tell who that is, but, well, it shook him up a little. That one's off the end of the bat. Out to Nunez at second, playing in the outfield grass. Soft toss over the first in time. So a good, clean inning for Schubert. No runs, a hit, and one man left. The Lefties will take their first swings when we return. We'll come back just a little bit early for the bottom of the first inning, everybody. Lefties will get set to take their first swings. We'll take a look at their lineup. They'll be the all-world Roberto Garza Nunez leading off. Trent Jackson will be the second man. He's been hot. Chase Taylor cooled off a little, but he's been swinging a pretty good bat throughout the middle of the season. He's the DH. B.Y. Choi will be the cleanup man. Owen Alsop will hit fifth, followed by Barrett Rose in the sixth spot. Cam Custer is the seventh man. Halen Ott, new addition to the roster. He's behind the plate. He'll bat eighth. M.J. Kim will round out the lineup for the Port Angeles Lefties, batting ninth. And they'll be opposed by the 6'1", 190-pound left-hander Quincy Vassar, rising senior at Vanguard University out of Brewster, Washington. 168 earned run average for him. This will be his fourth game, all of them being starts. 16 innings to his credit. 12 strikeouts. Not a big strikeout guy. 11 walks. His last outing coming back on June 21st at the Kamloops North Paw. 6 strong innings for him. Shutout, just a single hit to his credit. So lefties will look to try and just rattle him. Try and get some base runners. See what he can do. Maybe get something early. Try and jump on him coming out of the bullpen. 450 earned run average for Vaster this past spring, pitching for Vanguard University, coming over 38 innings. So Vassar out of the windup. Nunez swings the first pitch, lines into center field. That's going to drop in front of Kyle Hennington on the hop. Roberto Nunez loves going after the first pitch. He's aboard with a base hit. And I'll bring up Trent Jackson as he settles his way into the left-handed batter's box.
Hawaii Hilo University, Trent Jackson.
He swung a really good bat. 6 for 12 in the previous series at Wenatchee as he takes a breaking ball upstairs. He's been seeing the ball extremely well. One of 2 lefties hitters hitting above 300. He went 0 for 4 last night. Lefties only had 2 hits to their credit last night. That ball smoked deep down the right field line, and that ball is gone. Trent Jackson just able to keep that one inside the right field foul pole. And he's put the lefties on the board. 2-0 Port Angeles right out of the chute. Well, Jackson absolutely knew it. He stood by to watch from home plate. The only question was whether it would be fair or foul. Boy, that's a way to bring this crowd to its feet early.
Number 18 from Hawaii Pacific, Chase Taylor.
That'll bring up Chase Taylor. So that with the bases clear, Vassar will go back out of the windup. Taylor takes a little outside, 1-0. The ball usually travels much better to left field in Civic, but with no wind, a warm night, everything has a chance once you get in the air. At the knees, 1-1 the count to Taylor. That was also the 3rd home run of the season for Jackson. So him and Taylor now both at 3. Swung on and missed at a changeup, 1-2 the count. So Chase has started each of the last 13 games. Previous 10 before tonight, all coming behind the plate. He's been a busy man as that one's lined in the left field for a base hit. Taylor able to fight that one off the hands. 3 consecutive hits for Port Angeles as they already lead 2-0.
Dallas Baptist University,
And that'll bring up B.Y. Choi. Played a couple years for New Mexico Military Institute. Just finished the transfer process to Dallas Baptist University. So that's where he'll play this fall and spring. First pitch outside, 1-0 the count. B.Y. went 6 for 20 on the most recent road trip for the Lefties. 4 RBIs to his credit. Upstairs, 2-0 the count. Now we're going to have a meeting on the mound. So Nick Putnam now held to talk to Vassar. Well, it was a pretty quick conversation at that. Wonder if they're just trying to get their signs in order. Putnam didn't look too surprised. You can often tell when a catcher gets crossed up. In fact, I've seen it a couple times up here. Catchers just, well, looking like they get crossed up, then not going to talk to the pitcher. So that tells me the catchers didn't receive the ball all that well. That 2-0 is swung on and missed by Choi. Looked like Vassar took a little bit off of that one, too. So the AppleSox will set up to turn 2. A lot of room on the right side for BY. That curveball's fouled straight back. Might be a pitch that Choi will want back. Bit of a hanger right there. Even with the hole, though, Choi, when he's going good, he's been going the other way with a lot of pitches. His best swings have often come on pitches lined out to left center. That 2-2 is popped up. Shallow left center. Lopez, the shortstop, goes back. He makes the call, and he's able to recover and put it away. Kind of stumbling towards the end on that one. Looked like he was the only guy with a real shot at getting it. Well, high was up in the air. I'm surprised the center fielder Hennington or the left fielder Strong couldn't get there. So 1 away regardless. And that'll bring up Owen Alsop. 5 for 20 on the last road trip. Swings and misses at the first pitch off speed. I've said this for several games now, but it's still the case. Alsop comes in tied for 3rd in the league with 7 doubles. Comfortable 0 for 3 for him last night. Awkward swing over to the first baseman Eatson on a high bouncer. So he'll take it to the bag himself. Up to second goes Taylor. Yeah, that looks like the kind of handcuff swing. Well, 3 unassisted for those keeping score at home. That'll bring up Barrett Rose, a rising senior out of Stephen F. Austin University. He came in late to pinch hit yesterday, ended up making it out. He's walked 5 times in his last 10 plate appearances. Lefty on lefty matchup, that first pitch misses high. So an RBI opportunity for Barrett, with Chase Taylor looming at second base. The lefties already lead 2-0 thanks to the 3rd home run of the season for Trent Jackson. Slide step, look out. Looked like that got the helmet of Rose. Well, so he drops his bat, quickly adjusts the cap of his helmet, and it'll jog his way to first. Looked like Vassar put a little extra on that one, too. Obviously not intentional. Well, I don't think at least. There were some fireworks kind of late in the game last night. So it puts men on first and second. Rose at first, Taylor at second. It'll bring up Cam Custer. Cam was out of town most of last week with family. He returned yesterday. Ended up walking in the Independence Day parade with the rest of the team. Talk more about that a little bit later on. 1-0 the count to Custer. 0 for 3 last night with a couple punch-outs. So Vassar trying a little bit of damage at 2. Outside again, 2-0. The right fielder Williams and the center fielder Hennington playing Custer very shallow. Here's the 2-0 incoming. Outside again, 3-0. Well, now you wonder, is Custer going to get a take sign? You have the newbie, Halen Ott, waiting on deck. Well, here's the 3-0 with 2 outs. Looks like Custer does take all the way, and he takes a strike. I would think he'll get a similar pitch. If I'm Custer, I saw 4 straight pitches towards the outer half to the right-handed batter. I'd sell out for one. Goes to a similar spot, swings and misses. So the runners will be off. Rose from first and Taylor from second. 3-2 with 2 outs. The Lefties lead 2-0. A couple shakeoffs from Vassar on the mound, and now he comes set. Here's his pitch to Custer. The runners go. That one's ripped out to left center field. Hennington on the run. He's not going to get it. He's going to have to take it on the hop. Taylor will come around to score. Rose will dig his way to third. He'll stop there. RBI single for Cam Custer. It's now 3-0 Lefties. Boy, that's a terrific piece of hitting. Looked like he knew that exact pitch was coming, and he really squared it up. Also the 10th RBI of the season for Custer. So now with men on first and third, it'll bring up Halen Ott out of Mercer Island, Washington. Swings at a first pitch breaking ball and comes up empty. He finished his freshman year at Whitman College out in Walla Walla. His school actually uses the same field as the Walla Walla Sweets. Right down the chute, 0-2 the count. So Halen just got into town within the last day. He's behind the plate tonight. Especially with Sam Adams leaving town, being done for the season. Of course, need to give Chase Taylor's legs a break. Custer goes from first. The pitch is taken way upstairs. And Taylor ended up slipping. Rose ended up slipping at third, and a snap throw not in time. Well, that was bizarre, but it puts men on second and third now. 1-2 the count. Also a stolen base for Custer. So that'll be his 4th of the year. Here's the 1-2. So Halen Ott goes down swinging. That'll finally retire the side. But the Lefties play 3 runs to open the gate in the first. The big blow coming on the Trent Jackson 2-run shot down the right field line. 3-0 Lefties through 1. We'll be back in just a moment. We're ready to go for the top of the second inning at Civic Field. Lefties leading the AppleSox 3-0. 5, 6, 7 coming up for the AppleSox. It'll be Kyle Hennington, Nick Putnam, and Izzy Lopez. And Colby Schubert, well, he'll look to get back to work. Now stake to a 3-run lead. That first pitch on the outside corner for a called strike to Hennington. Kyle went 2 for 3 last night in his season debut for Wenatchee. So that one's hit foul to the right side, 0-2 the count. Right past the lefty dugout. So a good sign from Schubert, able to work ahead 0-2. Out of the windup, he kicks and deals off the end of that, back towards the middle. Nunez over to get, he backhands, well, he ends up kicking it. I don't think he would have had a shot to get Hennington anyway. We'll see how they score it. I would assume it'll be a base hit. Another ball not hit particularly hard by the AppleSox, but it does give him a leadoff base runner. So I'll bring up Nick Putnam. 8 for 16 in his limited at-bats. 4 doubles, 5 RBIs to his credit. Out of UC Santa Barbara. Foul tips that first one in and out of the glove of Ott. So the lefties will set up to turn 2. We'll look at the lefties defensively. It's MJ Kim at third, B.Y. Choice as shortstop, Roberto Nunez is over at second, Barrett Rose is the first baseman, Halen Ott is behind the plate, Cam Custer's the left fielder, Trent Jackson in center, Owen Alsop's in right, and of course Colby Schubert on the mound for the lefties. Outside 1-1 the count. The shortstop Choi playing a couple steps in from the edge of the infield dirt. Nunez about the same. A little inside 2-1. Close pitch. Not quite where Ott's set up. Looked like it was set up more towards the outer half. Pretty good lead at first from Hennington as he draws a throw. Schubert looking to work around another base runner. He was able to do so in the first. That's a good curveball in there for a strike, 2-2. Hennington not like, well, really could run. It's not like he's been playing all that long for the AppleSox. He did steal a base last night. And there he goes. Pitch is swung on and miss. A throw down by Ott. It's a good one. In time. Tremendous throw from Halen Ott right into the base path. Easy as that for Nunez. Just grab it and slap it down. Strike him out, throw him out, they call it. 2 away in the second. I swear, some of those timing things. Like when I say, well, a guy hasn't been hitting all that well, and then he gets a hit. Then I talk about a stolen base opportunity, and then he tries to go. Good job by Ott, though. First pitch hit hard, but foul down the third base line from the seventh man, Izzy Lopez. I'll talk about a really nice shift in the inning. 2 outs, nobody on base for Schubert as he steps off. Guess they needed just an extra moment to get that foul ball. So Schubert back out of the windup. A 0-1 curveball on the inner half for a strike. Lopez not a big fan of that one. 1 for 3 last night with an RBI. 0 for 7 in the previous series back in Wenatchee. A 0-2 off the end of the bat. One hop picked up by Choi at short. Across the diamond in time. Good stretch from Rose over at first. So the AppleSox go down quietly. No runs, a base hit, and nobody left for them. So we'll head to the bottom of the second. The lefties look to get the bats back to work. Welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. As we move to the bottom of the second, it'll be the ninth man, MJ Kim, followed by Nunez and Jackson. Kim's 1 for his last 18 coming in. He got the start yesterday at second base, going 0 for 3. Well, to try and get something going. Vassar back to work after allowing 3 runs of his own. Kim swings to the first pitch. He comes up empty. Well, Vassar's one of those guys. He got the ball right back on the rubber. He's ready. Pretty good curveball on the inside corner, 0-2 the count. You definitely want to get Kim with Nunez waiting on deck. Swung on and missed. So MJ Kim goes down on 3 pitches, 1 away. So that'll bring up Roberto Nunez. Singled and came around to score back in the first. Of course, coming in to score on the Jackson home run. He's an aggressive hitter, even especially for a leadoff man. Well, regardless where he hits in the order, he's an aggressive hitter. Swings to that one, off the hands, out to the shortstop Lopez, who puts it away. So back-to-back first pitch swings for Nunez. And as Trent Jackson will settle his way in, we'll take a look at the AppleSox defensively. It's Reeve Boyd over at third, Izzy Lopez is the shortstop, Frankie Carney's at second, Easton Amundsen at first, Nick Putnam behind the plate, Mason Strong's the left fielder, Kyle Hennington's in center, Josh Williams, new addition to the lineup tonight, he's in right. Swung on and missed at a breaking ball by Jackson, 0-1. I have the windup. That one's lined foul towards the parking lot. That was a little too close to my car for my own liking. Jacob was kind of leering over the desk, wondering the same thing. Here's the 0-2 with 2 outs. Check swing. They appeal to first. Oh, wow. They said Jackson went around on that. Well, didn't expect that call. Either way, the lefties go down quietly. Vassar's able to pick up a couple strikeouts. Hopefully our cars are okay down the left field line. We did park at the furthest spots. 3-0 lefties through 2. Welcome back to Civic Field, ladies and gentlemen. We're set for the top of the third. Lefties leading the AppleSox 3-0. It'll be 8-9-1 for Wenatchee. Reeve Boyd, Sebastian David, and Frankie Carney. Colby Subaru getting back to work. First pitch is in the dirt, 1-0 the count. I have the unique opportunity joined in the broadcast booth, everybody, from the one and only Nelson Smith, pitcher for the Lefties. It's great to have you, Nelson.
Thank you for having me on.
First couple hops out to Nunez at second, quickly 1 away. Well, Nelson, it really means a lot that you're able to take the time. Now, big guy, I have to tell you first, I saw you coming down along the concourse, and then you passed the initial steps and go, where's Nelson going? Then I saw you just kind of hop your way up through the bleachers with those long, stretching legs.
Yeah. There wasn't really a good path through the steps because there's people there, so I just looked for the opening in front and walked up the steps where it was open at.
Well, not to worry, as that first pitch is a foul. No, Nelson, you know, I had to give you the business for that one right there. I just had to. You would have done the same thing to me, and I would have been all about it.
Yeah, of course.
Here's the 0-1 coming from Schuber. Little inside, 1-1 the count. So, Nelson, you had a busy day yesterday. We all did, but you especially did for Independence Day. So I heard from the grapevine that you were working at Matt's restaurant by the wharf, the Roosevelt, better part of a week and a half, 2 weeks. So that was your morning. Then we both marched in the parade downtown, and, of course, you had the game.
Yeah,
So that one's lined in the left center for a base hit. Custer's going to play it on a couple hops, so a one-out base runner for the AppleSox.
Yeah, I had work from about 10 to 4:30, and then went from 4:30, went home, showered, came back, and went in the parade. Then we had the game, and then went home and went to sleep. So, yeah, it was a good day, long, but good weather. It's been a lot warmer here, so I'm appreciating that.
Yeah, you've definitely got to enjoy that, especially a guy coming from Florida. So Sebastian David with the base hit as the 9-man in the DH. It's back to Frankie Carney. Shows Bunny, pops it up, and it's going to drop just foul. Good effort by Halen Ott behind the plate. So 0-1 the count. Now, so Nelson, we were both in the parade. What was it like? You were up on the truck, up on Matt's truck, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
were you tossing candy from there to all
yeah,
the
I
anxious
was.
kiddos?
I was throwing it with my left hand, just flicking it over. I accidentally hit a little girl in the head, but it's all good. No
Carney shows
problems
Bunny
or anything,
again
but-
and bunts it foul. Now let's see, Nelson. Were you hogging a bunch of the candy from the other guys? Because we did run out pretty quickly, or a little earlier than we would have preferred.
No. I wasn't even taking that much. I was only using one hand. And they were throwing candy for, especially the people walking. There was a good amount of people walking. So
Here's the 0-2 pitch in the dirt, and the runner Dave will head to second. Thrown on by Ott will be just a little bit late. So a wild pitch for Schuber allows Sebastian David to get to second. Now, Nelson, I have to admit, I was doing basically the same thing. I did not take into account exactly how much candy we really had. I was going a little too crazy myself.
yeah. Last year we had probably 10 bags in the back of the truck. So everybody had like a bag and you just give it out slowly the whole time. But people were just giving away too fast. That's why we ran out.
2-2 the count as that pitch misses upstairs. One out on the top of the third. Lefties leading the AppleSox 3-0. David at second. I'm joined in the booth by Lefties pitcher Nelson Smith. Here's a 2-2 incoming. Hit softly out to.
Down.
There you go. Over the first by Nunez. 4-3 on the putout. David up to third. And so, Nelson, you are a returner, having played for the Lefties last summer. So what drove your initial decision both to come out to Port Angeles last summer and then to come back?
Great people out here. It's very nice out here, especially scenery-wise. I like the area, small town, quiet place, and host family's great. So excited to come back out here and give it another go.
Mason Strong takes a curveball right down the chute for strike one. He singled his only at bat in the first, ended up stranded over there. Schubert now trying to leave Sebastian David at third. How does your mindset as far as pitching change, especially when you get a guy in scoring position?
Well, you try not to worry about the runner, right, because he's on base. But, if you can just focus on the hitter and come at him as if it's no outs and nobody on base, then 2-out scenario, the probability is lower anyway for a runner to score than it would be with less than 2 outs.
By 0-2 to Strong, misses outside, 1-2 the count. Well, as Strong steps out of the box, he looks like he has to adjust his batting gloves a little bit. Schubert's just right there on the rubber, ready to go. So he comes set, working out the stretch. Here's his 1-2 with 2 outs. Another curveball misses high, 2-2 the count. Oh, he's fixing the batting gloves again. I assume pitchers would not like that too much, having the hitter step out a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like the reset before every pitch.
Well, here's the 2-2. That curveball's off the hand. Shallow left center. Custer and Jackson over. A diving attempt by Jackson. He can't get it. It's off his glove. A run will score. Digging in the second is Strong with an RBI double. That's a tough one right there.
I felt like that should have been the left fielder's ball. But
Number 21, Easton.
That's one of those things that it is what it is. I mean, if you're Schubert, you made the good pitch. You got the pop-up. Sometimes just one of those things, I guess, just hit it where they ain't.
yeah, that's how you play the game.
So now 3-1 Lefties. And that brings up Easton Amundsen.
Good pitch.
Was a good changeup. 0-1 the count. The Lefties have kept Amundsen quiet. Popped out to third, his only at bat. Really hasn't had much offense going in the first 4 games now against the Lefties. 1-1 the count. And as a pitcher, how do you reset after a situation where you make the good pitch and you get the weak contact, but it just doesn't work out for you?
You just got to keep going. It's hard. It's a game of failure, so can't live too much in the past, and you just kind of got to move forward and throw the next pitch and hope something good comes out of it.
That was a pretty good one by Schubert. He gets the weak foul ball, 1-2 the count. So back-to-back hitters now. Schuber working ahead with 2 strikes. The last at bat to Strong resulted in a bloop double for an RBI. Trying to leave Strong at second base. And there he goes to third, pitched in the dirt. Nothing Ott can do about that. Stolen base for Mason Strong. So once again, a 2-out man at third. After Schuber going to have to reset. A little bit of extra chit-chat from the AppleSox dugout. Swung on and missed. A good pitch from Schuber. Able to leave a man at third and retire the side. The AppleSox are able to play the run on the bloop double in the left center from Mason Strong. He's left over at third base. So through 3.5, it's 3-1 Lefties. Nelson Smith will be joining us for a couple more innings.
Chase Taylor.
Well, we continue on to the bottom of the third inning, everybody. Lefties leading the AppleSox 3-1. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined in the booth by Lefties pitcher Nelson Smith. It'll be Chase Taylor, B.Y. Choi, and Owen Alsop as the scheduled hitters. Taylor singled back in the first, eventually came around to score 1 of 3 runs for the Lefties. Comes up empty on that first one, 0-1 the count.
Good game so far.
Oh, we got off to a really good start, especially against a guy with an ERA under 2. 0-2 the count to Taylor. That swing and miss. What's it like having Chase behind the plate?
Chase is a great guy. You know, he works well with the pitchers, and you know he's still getting better himself as much as he goes. But
Chase Taylor goes down on 3 pitches right there, 1 away in the third.
you know, he's a good guy, and he does really well behind the plate, and we all appreciate him.
Number 16 from Dallas Baptist.
Now they'll bring up B.Y. Choi.
B.Y. Choi.
So he's 0 for 1. Oh, Vassar working quickly. That curveball's on the outside corner, 0-1 the count.
Good take.
Yeah, he's really picking up the pace. 0-2 the count as Choi comes up empty. So Nelson, I'm curious about this. What were your goals coming into this summer, and had they changed at all as we've hit the halfway point?
So, I mean, goal is always to get better because
Someone's popped up foul out of play down the third base line. Look out, cars.
but yeah, it's always just to get better every day. You know, 1% better. So, goal is really just to find a good place and be able to play next year, and hopefully I will have that soon.
0-2 is hit hard over the second base. It's off the glove of Carney. Recovers. Safe is the call at first. So Choi is able to reach on an error by the second baseman, Frankie Carney.
Good hustle, good hustle. But yeah, you know, it's always just to get better and stuff. You know, can't worry about the big things too much, and everything just comes to play as you go on and just play the game.
So Owen Alsop will dig in with a 1-out base runner at first, being Choi. Bounce out softly to first, his only at bat. He shows bunt, pulls back, and he takes on the inside corner.
That ball's a little in.
They'll have a much better angle than I do, Nelson, the way we're set up.
Yeah, but you're much higher than I am in the seat, so.
Oh, Nelson, it's only fair. You're 6'7". I had to give you the shorter chair.
Understandable.
That one's popped up, middle of the infield. Where did that ball go? It's out to the second baseman, Carney. He drops it. It's off his glove. It kicks back towards first base. Choi's able to hustle his way into second.
Wow. I couldn't really see the shadow on the field right now from the stands is covering a lot of second base. So.
Yeah, so back-to-back errors on the second baseman, Frankie Carney. Puts men on first and second with 1 out.
And that's the thing with baseball. You got to let go of the last thing that happened and just move on. That's it. Take it on to the next play and the next play.
Couldn't say it better myself. Barrett Rose will dig in. He was hit by a pitch, taking one off the top of the dome. In the dirt, 1-0 the count. And so I couldn't even, when that pop-up, went up in the air, I could not tell where it went.
Yeah, I knew it was up in the infield. I seen it was by second base, but I mean, it's so dark over there. I didn't see that he dropped it.
And the sun's really not an issue at that spot, as that one's popped up into the screen 1-1. Usually it's that third base and left field spot. Yeah, seeing Mason Strong out there now trying to deflect the sun with his glove.
Mm-hmm. It's changed now. All the first half it was shadowing left, and now it's shadowing right.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Shadow's slowly starting to become a factor. A little bit rolling out in front of the mound. That curveball's in there. 1-2 the count to Rose. Well, I assume for any pitcher, you obviously want to try and pick up your teammate. That's a tough spot for Vassar. Here's the 1-2 incoming. That curveball's a little high, 2-2. So Vassar slowing things down just a little bit. A lot of room on the left side. Izzy Lopez plays in the back pocket of Choi at second. Slide step, a little outside, 3-2. Good at bat from Rose, able to work it back.
Stay within yourself here.
You think he'll challenge Barrett with a fastball?
Well, the best pitch to throw 3-2 is a changeup, so I wouldn't be surprised if he threw it.
Well, let's see. Here's the 3-2 with one out. He goes to the fastball, and Rose likely went after ball 4. Goes after a high heater.
Well, that's the thing about baseball. You never know what's going to come next.
Number 1, fastball. Community College.
So 2 away. It'll bring up Cam Custer. RBI single for him coming back in the first. So, Nelson, now I really got to ask you something else. This one might take you by surprise. So, Griff told me that you and Ethan clobbered him with water balloons. That first pitch misses high. I mean, he came back drenched and defeated looking. Was Griff in the wrong place at the wrong time, or did you and Ethan just have him in your crosshairs for a good little while?
So Matt came by with water balloons and said, hit the interns because they hit us intern earlier in the season. So
okay,
I went and made sure I got every intern except for a couple. So I'm kind of a little upset about that part. But, yeah, I ran up to him and threw it at him left-handed.
Here's the 2-0 to Custer. It's a curveball. Pitcher's pitch right there, 2-1. Also, who'd you miss?
I just didn't have enough water balloons for the other 2.
Oh, I see. So just you personally. That curveball's hit fairly hard in the left field. Coming on is strong. He's going to be able to get there and put it away.
Yeah, one of them, I think it was Jacob, and then...
Oh, not to worry, my friend. We'll pick up this conversation in the 4th. I know I have you for another inning. So the lefty's able to get a couple men aboard thanks to the 2 errors from Carney. Not able to capitalize on that. Still 3-1 lefties through 3. We'll be back in just a moment.
All right, field. Number 15.
Oh, we're rocking and rolling onto the top of the 4th, everybody. Still 3-1 lefties over the AppleSox. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined in the booth by Nelson Smith. So 4, 5, 6 coming up for Wenatchee. It'll be Josh Williams, Kyle Hennington, and Nick Putnam. Williams bounced out to second, his only at bat. Nunez is playing, looks like a good, at least 10 feet. back into the right field grass. It's been a common occurrence with him with left-handed batters.
Yeah, he's trying to play deeper, so on pull side lefties, he's able to get that ground ball that's in the hole. And
that 1-0 is ripped. It's off the glove of Barrett Rose, but he's able to keep it right around him and taking it to the bag himself.
Good play. It kind of eliminates anything being pulled and makes them kind of have to hit it up the middle and get a base hit. So
3 unassisted for those keeping score at home. Well, Barrett showed over there. He's not the biggest guy, but he's one heck of an athlete at first. So that'll bring up Kyle Hennington. Anyway, the previous batter, Williams, so he did not play last night. Of course, he's playing right field in for Brandon Ponce, who got ejected last night, part of some eighth-inning theatrics. He had to play at first base. Umpire initially, he called the runner safe on a lefties guy, on Owen Alsa being off the bag. 1-1 the count to Hennington. Then the call was reversed. Then some chit-chatter as that ball sprayed foul towards the lefty dugout. And then eventually Garrett Holpuck and Brandon Ponce got ejected. What was going on down there, Nelson?
I mean, honestly, I don't really know. I was still sitting on the dugout. I mean, I know there's a little, talking back and forth, and, it's baseball. People talk, but.
That was popped up to center. Jackson didn't have to move too much. He's able to put it away, 2 outs.
But, just some things get out of hand sometimes, but I don't really know the full story, so.
Well, obviously, you don't root for anybody to get ejected, but you have a guy in Garrett Holpuck who had 4 really strong innings out of the bullpen. He's going to need a little bit of rest. And then the other guy, and the cleanup hitter for the AppleSox, ended up being the guy who got dinged for them. 0-1 the count to Putnam.
Yeah, only a 1-game suspension, though, so they should be back out here tomorrow.
0-2 the count. Schuber's really looking good. Now, anyway, as far as the water balloon story goes, so yes, Griff ended up coming back to the press box. He told me that Ethan Young needed to see me. And then first I figured, what did I do to upset Ethan so much? Outside 1-2 the count. And then it took me about 5 seconds. I go, absolutely nothing. I know what this is about. This is right after Griff came back after getting drenched by the water balloon. Swung on and missed. 1-2-3 inning for Colby Schuber.
Yeah, nothing personal. Everybody had to get hit.
Oh, of course. I think I'll actually keep it right here just to finish this story. We should have Nelson. We should have you for one more half inning, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I like the sound of that. So anyway, I walked down there, and this is right about when batting practice is going to start, Nelson. Right about that 4:30 slot, and I was trying to think to myself, how should I go about handling this? Do I try and avoid it? Do I try and come in the other way? And I just go, well, I like Ethan. I'm going to accept my fate. I'm just going to accept my fate. And he sees me, I go, Ethan, I know what's about to happen. I just need you to know that I knew it was coming. Griff tried real hard. It was a pretty good trick. You had me for just a little bit, Griff. But I ended up getting wet. My shirt got drenched, especially the front of it. I made sure not to bring my phone with me. Griff, your phone's okay, right?
I have a brand new phone that
yeah.
was okay.
Griff's got a new phone, everybody. Yeah, that's right.
Soon, but at least it's okay for now.
Yeah,
that's a relief.
Yeah, I got all but one intern and then one player. Troy hit me, so I chased him down the whole entire field. And I was pretty tired after, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, I chased him down and hit him too, and then we were even.
So now I really wonder who you missed. I thought
Jacob. He was the only one. And you.
Oh.
You and Jacob, because you were hiding up in the press box.
I was hiding up in the press box. Well, I had to get ready for tonight, my friend, especially once I found out that you were going to be joining me. I can't disrespect you like that. I got to make sure I'm ready.
I mean, yeah, but you would have dried off by then.
Yeah, I did dry off pretty quick. It's warm out.
Yeah, it is. I like that the sun's out, not as cold, and it's real nice out right now.
So Quincy Vassar will get back to work in the bottom of the fourth. Halen Ott, MJ Kim, and the leadoff man Nunez. Ott shows bunt. He pulls back and takes a strike. That was interesting. Ott showed bunt early right there as if he was going to sacrifice a runner. So the corners came charging. He pulled it back for a strike. That one's in the dirt, 1-1 the count.
The ball looked down, too, under the barrel, so I'm sure he's a little frustrated about giving that call against him.
Well, Vassar working quickly. That one's hit high in the air to left center. It's fairly well hit. Strong and Hennington going back, and it's going to be the center fielder, Kyle Hennington, making the catch on the run a few steps shy of the wall.
Good swing.
Number 11.
Hey, he did give that one a ride.
Mexico Military Institute.
So that brings up the ninth man, Kim. Struck out on 3 pitches, his first at bat. So, Nelson, this is something I'm really, really curious about. How valuable has TrackMan and the synergy been for you throughout the summer? Like, is that something that you've had access before with your college career?
Yeah, we had Rapsodo and Synergy and all that stuff at school, and we could watch our inter squads and games and see the velo up there and spin rate and all that stuff. So, yeah, I've been around it, but try not to look too much into it.
A 2-0 sprayed foul, 2-1 the count to Kim. 1 out, nobody on base in the 4th for the Lefties. Because that synergy and TrackMan stuff. I played through high school, didn't play ball in college. That one skied out to center field. Hennington comes charging in. He's able to put it away. So 2 outs now bring up Nunez. It's fascinating for me seeing all that for the first time. So is that something that even going into your freshman year that you got pretty comfortable with all that quickly, just seeing the extra data?
No, so JUCO, I didn't really have the data unless I had to, talk to my coach or talk to a scout or whatnot. But once I got into a 4-year, yeah, I had everything I needed.
The one to Nunez is ripped down the left field line, foul. Over towards the AppleSox bullpen. So 0-2 the count now to Nunez. Well, Vassar's ready to go. Strong is still jogging back to his spot in left. And now Vassar will step off. I never liked that as a position player. Every once in a while, my pitcher want to go so quick and I can't get back to my spot. And 0-2 is way outside. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, just at those timing off here because he's seen the ball well.
And Nunez 1 for 2 with a single in the first. Here's the 1-2. That curveball's lined in the right center field. That's going to leak in there for a base hit. Roberto Nunez, the league leader in total hits coming into play. He's 2 for 3.
Yep, twice he's hung the curveball like that, so just threw his hands at it, booped it over second base.
You're a little surprised they went back to another curveball, especially right after Nunez ripped one foul the way he did?
Yeah, just a little surprised. Thought maybe he should have came with a fastball there. But he's really feeling his off speed, pitching backwards now. Now he's getting a little bit of success for a couple innings, so I'm sure he'll stick with it.
0-1 the count to Trent Jackson. 1 for 2 with a 2-run homer in the first. Out in front of that curveball, 0-2. That was a better-looking breaking ball from Vassar. So Jackson trying to extend the inning. 0-2 is ripped in the right center field. Hennington's on the run. He's going to get there, going into the right center field alleyway. So we're through 4 full at Civic Field. 3-1 Lefties over the AppleSox. Nelson, is this going to be it, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me on, and have a beautiful day.
All right. Saying goodbye to Nelson Smith, everybody. We'll be back for the top of the 5th inning. Welcome back, everybody. We're set for the top of the 5th. Schubert will get back to work. Still a 3-1 lead for Port Angeles. Izzy Lopez, Reeve Boyd, Sebastian David, then the top. First pitch is low to Izzy. Bounced out to Choi at short, his only at bat. Pretty good play by Choi going up the middle. That's a good fastball at the knees, 1-1. I really love when we get that opportunity to bring a player up here with us, especially the pitchers. It's a lot. I mean, baseball, of course, very much a mental game, 80% mental, even more so for pitchers. Here's the 2-1 coming from Schubert out of the windup. Good-looking curveball. Maybe more like a slider. Well, I guess a swing and miss from Lopez. So let's see. Will Schubert go back to the heater, or will he go with another breaking ball? Oh, it looked like something slower. It missed low, 3-2. You definitely don't want to walk the leadoff man, especially in the bottom of the order. Here's the 3-2. Goes with a curveball. Good play by Kim coming in on the short hop at third. Plenty of time to get his man at first. That was a really good sign right there. We've seen Kim at third trying to deal with plays like that. As a third baseman, never an easy thing to decide. Do I wait back on this ball, or do I try and charge and get on the short hop? Kim chose right on that particular play. So with one out, it brings up Reeve Boyd. He bounced out to second base, his only at bat. And Schubert has been good out of the gate. Another good curveball, 0-1 the count. Just the one run allowed, and that's coming on a bloop double, frankly. That just fell into no man's land from Mason Strong. 1-1 the count. Yeah, Schubert, really a good tempo for him. So that one's lined foul up and above the lefties' dugout. As Boyd steps out just a moment to fix his batting gloves. Longer looking for Schubert. He's set with the 1-2. Fastball. Ooh, I guess that was just high. Looked like he caught Boyd by surprise. I think that's one of those where you take the pitch and you pray you get the call by the umpire. So that one's fouled off again. Well, definitely something right here worth mentioning. One of the lefties' assistant coaches, Evan Boyd. I'll also talk about this a bit later on, but a little bit of a coaching switch going on. Evan Bates became the youngest manager in the West Coast League history as Reeve Boyd goes down looking on strikes. Fifth strikeout for Schubert. Youngest manager in league history with being able to manage Saturday and Sunday's games up in Nanaimo. 22 years, 5 months old, Mr. Evan Bates out of Central Washington University. Yeah, puts in a lot of work, especially some of the marketing stuff for us, and, of course, handling things on the field. Well done, my friend. And, of course, any time I'm able to get a lefties player up here, that goes through Mr. Bates. So that one's looped out to second base. Nunez able to range over to make the play. 1-2-3 go the AppleSox in their half of the fifth. Lefties still lead 3-1. And once again, congratulations, Evan Bates. And thank you for letting me have some of your players for a few innings here and there. It'll be Chase Taylor, B.Y. Choi, and Owen Alsup, the scheduled hitters for the lefties in their half of the fifth. Things have been quiet for the lefties offensively. 3 runs out of the gate. The first 3 hitters all reaching base via base hits, and not a whole lot since then. That curveball misses inside to Taylor, 2-0 the count. Chase is 1 for 2 today. Singled and scored back in that first. Went down on strikes in the third. 1 of 5 strikeouts for Quincy Vassar, working his 5th inning. Well, he's behind Taylor 3-0. I wonder if Chase will get the green light. He is an aggressive hitter. Well, we're going to find out. Looks like he took all the way, and a pitcher's pitch on the inside corner, 3-1. At least a 3-1 incoming. Good swing from Taylor. He pops it foul. You definitely want to add on if you're Port Angeles. And frankly, those first inning runs are huge, especially a guy coming in with a 1.68 ERA. Here's the 3-2. Looks like a changeup, and Taylor comes up empty. So the sixth strikeout of the game for Quincy Vassar. So one away. That brings up B.Y. Choi. He's 0 for 2 today. He reached on an error by the second baseman Frankie Carney, his last at bat in the third. Chops that one weakly towards the lefty's dugout. Looked like Custer right there had to get up out of his seated position to avoid that one. I swear, if I were down there, I mean, you have a lefty in Choi, not quite as dangerous with the back of a hitter facing you, 1-1 the count. I would not enjoy, though, being at the first base dugout with a right-handed hitter up. That 1-1's in the dirt, 2-1 the count. You could really hear that thud coming off the chest protector of Putnam. Granted, I guess you also have a guy in Vassar. Not a whole lot of velocity on his pitches. So not as likely, I guess, to see a ball ripped towards the dugout. That one's hit hard by Choi out to right field, but right at Josh Williams, who's able to put it away. So for the time being, Quincy Vassar seems to have settled in. 2 quick outs in the fifth, and that'll bring up Alsop. I had a chance to meet Owen Alsop's dad and his stepmom down at not the parade, some of the pre-parade festivities downtown in Port Angeles. I can see how he's such a gentleman just meeting his dad. Owen won the count to Owen. Really, really nice kid. You can just tell, one of those guys who just really appreciates the little things. Swung on a miss at a changeup, 0-2 the count. And me, Alsop, Mr. Evan Bates, the youngest head coach in West Coast League history. A bunch of other guys able to watch the lawnmower race. Just outside. The entire Wenatchee infield started running in from the dugout. Well, Mr. Home Plate Umpire says, no, no, no. So 1-2 the count to Alsop. Swung on and missed at that one. Well, 1-2-3 inning from Quincy Vassar. He seems to be matching up with Schubert pretty well. So this game's turned into a pitcher's duel through 5 full. 3-1 Lefties over the Wenatchee AppleSox. Well, we continue on to the top of the sixth. Griff right next to me just asked, how are we already at the sixth inning? Well, part of it is we haven't seen any walks tonight. Just a single hit batter from Quincy Vassar hitting Barrett Rose on the helmet with a pitch. Schubert will get back to work to the leadoff man Carney in the dirt, ball 1. Carney's gone down on, he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout in the first. He ground out to second in the third. Looked like that pitch nearly got a piece of Carney. So 2-0 the count. One of 5 strikeouts for Schubert, who's been really good. Oh, that one's off the glove of Halen Ott. So Schubert now in jeopardy of walking his first guy, behind 3-0. Yeah, they fell behind the leadoff man once, 3-0. Definitely don't want to put him on. Well, that's a 4-pitch walk to Carney. Oh, and Jacob tells me that's why you don't mention walks. I'm getting the business right now. I guess I deserve it, though. So a leadoff base runner for the AppleSox. And that'll bring up Mason Strong. He's 2 for 2 today. Singled in the first, RBI double back in the third. On the ball not hit particularly hard. So the top of the order coming up, Schubert's going to have to work around a little bit of trouble. Strong shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's a called strike. Looked like a slide step that time from Schubert. When it comes set, a little longer between pitches. Oh, it almost got Carney at first. Frankie Carney was dancing his way off the first base bag. Looked like he was trying to time up Schubert. Somebody in the lefty infield wisely said to step off, and Schubert almost had a pickoff. Slide step, and yes, Strong did go around according to the home plate umpire. Good curveball, 0-2 the count. Carney has stolen 3 bases this season, so he is a threat to run. Only about a 2.5-step lead. Well, now he's inching off a little bit further. Now Schubert's trying to hold the ball just to keep him there. Fastball just outside. Schubert definitely wanted it. Jacob definitely wanted it. So 1-2 the count. 3-1 Lefties, no outs in the top of the 6th. The leadoff man Carney at first. That curveball is hit foul down the left field line. That's too close to mine and Jacob's cars. There's good reason why I park in that second to last spot. Seems like Jacob was at a similar spot too. I have never seen, that's the second foul ball that's kind of gone into that territory. So 1-2 the count. Another curveball stays high, 2-2. Well, Jacob just walked out the door. I think he's going to check on his truck again. It's a nice truck he has. Definitely is. If and when the time comes, I'm much more of a sports car kind of guy. Check on the runner as Carney goes in standing up. Still no wind at Civic Field. I never thought I'd see the day this season where my phone says 0 miles per hour of wind, as that one's popped foul into the screen. We've had a couple nights here with gusts well over 30 miles per hour, reminding me of nor'easters back on the Jersey Shore. Yeah, no life on the trees or the leaves, and the flag is limp. That one's bounced softly out to short. Choice charging it. Has one play to first. Throws on the run. In time at first. Had to wait a little extra moment for the field umpire. Good stretch from Rose, able to hold the bag. So up to second goes Carney. 6-3 on that put out. 1 out. And that brings up Easton Amundsen. 0 for 2 today. You've loved the lefties are able to keep him quiet. So that one's hit fairly well in the center field. It chases Jackson back in center. He has room, puts it away. Carney will tag and head to third. The throw by Jackson is not going to be in time. It was a pretty strong throw. The ball kind of died once it hit the ground in the infield. This has got to keep happening. As soon as I said that Amundsen's been kept quiet by the lefties, he hit that ball pretty well. I mean, I have to tell it how it is. He hasn't done anything against Port Angeles, whether it's a 3-game series last week in Wenatchee or, well, he's 0 for 8 in this first game and a half back here in Port Angeles. I have to tell the people what they need to know. First pitch curveball taken high by Josh Williams. The man in to replace Brandon Punts, who was ejected last night, suspended for today's game. Same thing for Garrett Hulpuck. Out in front of a curveball, 1-1. You're going to want to be careful if you're Schubert right there. That was a little bit of a hanger. So Schubert trying to work around a man on third with 2 outs. Still leading by 2. That's in the dirt. Good play from Halen Ott to keep that around him. You have Kyle Hennington waiting on deck, who is 1 for 2 today. A couple shakes from Schubert. Now he has what he wants. Here's his 2-1 out of the stretch. Curveball stays outside, 3-1. Well, now you wonder if you're Schubert. Do you challenge Williams even with a base open? That 3-1 looks like a curveball. Snap throw from Ott to third. Out is the call at third base. Frankie Carney can't believe the call. He's exasperated. He's still waving his hands all around. It was a bit of a high tag from MJ Kim, but he's able to get the call. Boy, Halen Ott has been a wall behind home plate, and that retires the side in the 6th. Lefties still on top 3-1 over the AppleSox when we return.
At St. Louis, Barrett Rose.
It'll be Barrett Rose, Cam Custer, and Halen Ott, who's really been impressive behind the plate. To get things started in the bottom of the 6th. And the new pitcher for the AppleSox, Michael Keneally, will take over in the place of Quincy Vassar. Keneally, tall, 6'5", lanky righty, 185 pounds, rising sophomore at Gonzaga University. 4.90 ERA, this being his 6th game, all of them coming out of the bullpen. First pitch heater, he throws it by Rose. Barrett was hit by a pitch on the helmet back in the 1st inning. Just grazed him. The only guy that Vassar put on, walk or hit by pitch. Another swing and a miss by Rose, 0-2 the count. 11 total innings for Keneally, 15 strikeouts, only 3 walks. Well, I'll do the job. Swung on and missed. Rose goes down on 3 pitches, all of them fastballs. That's a good fastball that Keneally's got. It looked like it was pretty straight. Pretty high over-the-top delivery. I never liked facing those really tall pitches. It just feels like, well, they are. They're a lot closer to you. So number 28, Brock Mayer, will come on as a pinch hitter for the Lefties. So we'll hit in Cam Custer's spot in the seventh in the order. Yeah, so the home plate umpire needs just an extra moment to mark down that sub. 1 out, nobody on base in the 6th inning for Port Angeles, leading Wenatchee 3-1. Actually, something interesting that I learned just a couple days ago. So the way the West Coast League basically does things is they keep track of record based on the first half schedule and then the second half schedule. So the top 4 teams in each division, the Northern and Southern, move on to the postseason. Better pull that up. I know I had it up there somewhere. Well, I'll get it back. So the Lefties last night essentially started their second half season, losing last night 7-0. So now, as far as that's concerned, they're 0-1. A little outside to the pinch hitter Brock Mayer. Two 2-0 the count. Keneally working exclusively out of the stretch, at least right now, on the far first base side of the rubber. Good hitters count for Mayer. And that time Keneally gets the called strike at the knees. Mayer, the two-way player, not a big fan of that one. Chopped foul at the plate, 2-2 the count. So the way the league does it is the first half winner for each division automatically makes the postseason, one of the 4 teams coming out of each division. Then the second half winner automatically makes it. Then the third and fourth place teams are just based on total record. That one's fouled at the plate. And what's going on here? It hit off of Mayer. Oh, wow. They're going to call Mayer out. The umpires have got to talk about this one. That pitch bounced at the plate. It clearly got a piece of Brock Mayer. There was no signal from the home plate umpire, so the catcher, Nick Putt, heads up play on his part. He popped up. He frankly should have just tagged Mayer. He decided to toss it over the first. The field umpire called him out. Well, now Matt Acker's coming in from the third base coach's box, and he's going to talk to the home plate about this. All right, well, now they're going to both come in and talk about it. You have to. And, things happen on the field. I'm about as pro umpire as you can find, but that ball clearly bounced and hit Brock Mayer. There's good reason why he didn't run the first. Well, it was a short conversation. They're going to stick with the call. Brock Mayer is still out. There's not going to be an argument from anybody. So 2-3 for those keeping score at home. And that'll bring up Halen Ott. He takes low, 1-0 the count. Ott is 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, flew out to center in the fourth. Keneally trying to work a 1-2-3-6 coming out of the bullpen. Outside 2-0. And so for the AppleSox, they come in currently as the leader in the Northern Division, same division as the Lefties. They come in a game up over the Bellingham Bells. One full game. They're still working on their first half schedule. Both the AppleSox and the Bells, their first half schedule ends at the end of play Thursday. So the AppleSox are trying to essentially win out the rest of this series to clinch the first half championship for the Northern Division. I think I explained that pretty well. Hopefully, at least. It's not like I can get reassurance from people back home. That one's popped up. Foul territory on the first base side. Amundsen is over towards the lefty dugout, and it'll bounce off the dugout and head down towards the dugout grill. So a couple of youngsters go sprinting after that one. It looks like the young man was able to get to it first. Also, new life for Ott. That ball was up there for a long time. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That one's lined softly in the center. Hennington comes in. Well, he's trotting in. He's able to put it away pretty easily. So good inning from Michael Keneally. The Lefties go down quietly in their half of the sixth. Pitcher's duel continues for right now. 3-1 Port Angeles through 6 full. Well, we'll come back just a little bit early, everybody, for the top of the seventh. In March of 1775, future Virginia Governor Patrick Henry declared at the Second Virginia Convention, "Give me liberty or give me death," with both future Presidents George Washington and Thomas Jefferson in attendance. Nearly a month later, Paul Revere and William Dawes departed to Lexington and Concord on their midnight ride to warn the Americans that the British were coming. War began the next morning at Lexington and Concord, with a shot heard round the world. 2 months later in June, George Washington was appointed Commander-in-Chief by the Second Continental Congress. And on July 4th, 1776, that same Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence. And here we are, 247 years and 1 day later, everybody. I know it's just a day late, but I had to do that. The spirit of Independence Day. Of course, hope everyone had a tremendous and wonderful Independence Day. Whether you celebrate with a parade, a grill out. I know in my hometown, the beaches completely packed for the fireworks show. We were able to catch the end of the fireworks show here, just watching from the ballpark, coming off the barge, especially sitting up on a hill. First pitch taken in the dirt by Josh Williams. 4.56 coming up for Wenatchee. Williams was at the plate when Frankie Carney was picked off at third to end the sixth. That one's hit fairly sharply to second. Nunez up with it. Strong throw over to first, and Barrett Rose is able to hang on to the bag. So one quick out, it brings up Kyle Hennington. So Brock Mayer came on to pinch hit for Cam Custer, the left fielder, last inning. Kind of hard to tell, but it looks like that's Brock who took over in left. As soon as I get a 100% indicator, I'll confirm that. But I'm pretty sure that's Brock taking over in left. So that one's hit hard out to right. It chases Alsa back. He leaps, and it's off his glove. He's not able to get it. Heading into second is Hennington. He's there with a one-out double. Really good effort from Alsop. That ball is hit sharply and spinning all sorts of ways. And also, once again, Schuber's going to have to work through a little bit of trouble. That'll bring up Nick Putnam. He's gone down on strikes twice today, 0 for 2. Lefties leading the AppleSox 3-1. Schuber's done a good job. He's dealt with some traffic. Putnam shows bunt. It's foul tipped in the glove of Ott. Goodness, Halen's been tremendous back there. Throw a guy out stealing, pick a runner off of third, blocking some really tough pitches. That one's a foul down the third base line. Ends up scattering, looks like about 7 guys there for the AppleSox dugout. Wasn't hit particularly hard. I'd expect somebody to try and make a play on that. 0-2 the count, Schuber dealing to Ott. That one's lined over the glove of the second baseman, Nunez, in the center. Hennington will be held at third. He had to make sure that ball wasn't caught by Nunez. Well, back-to-back hits for the AppleSox. It puts men on first and third with 1 out. And there is action in the Lefties bullpen. On time is called. Well, there comes the one-time youngest manager in West Coast League history, Evan Bates, to talk to Schuber on the mound. He has not signaled to the bullpen. Certainly trying to buy some time for the reliever getting hot. Halen Ott's also out there on the mound. So a double from Hennington with 1 out and a single from Putnam. First and third for the AppleSox. Well, Schuber would definitely love a double play ball from Izzy Lopez coming up. Oh, the umpire's really letting him go for a while here. This is some good, wise coaching from old Mr. Bates. Forcing the home plate umpire to come walking out and break up the huddle. That definitely bought that reliever at least 5 or 6 extra pitches. I might be generous. At least 3 or 4. Bates even has the walk mastered. There's a certain way that a young pitching coach needs to walk out to the mound. It's just the right kind of strut with that. So Wizzy Lopez is 0 for 2 today. A couple groundouts for him. He shows bunt. He pulls it back. And they appeal the call to the field umpire. He says he went around. Looks like some conversation about the count. And that was the first pitch of the at-bat, so 0-1. I don't know what the third base coach there was talking about. Ooh. A little outside, 1-1. Well, I was about ready to call that one a strike. So 1-1, first and third, one out. The lefties lead by 2 as that one skied way up in the air down the left field line. Mayer on the run, and that ball is going to drop foul. The ball is up in the air a long time, just not enough time for somebody to get there. The shortstop Choi and third baseman Kim also gave that one a look. So 1-2 the count now. Schubert looking to pick up a strikeout. Here's the 1-2. That one's lined into right. Alsip backing up. He reaches up and it's over his head. Ended up misreading it. One run's going to score. Putnam is going to get the stop sign at third. Oh, and they're going to get Lopez in a rundown. And the throw comes to the plate. And now they have Hennington in a rundown. The throw back to third. Oh, safe at third base. Well, they still have Lopez hung up between second and third. And now it looks like Choi is able to tag out. Whoa, what a mess. Able to tag out Lopez. Griff, good luck scoring that one. I think he'll be just fine, though. Okay, so it's going to go down as a double for sure. And an RBI. Kyle Hennington crossed the plate. That rundown just took an eternity. So 2 out to the man on third. So Hennington crosses the plate. Putnam is at third. Lopez was the man who was tagged out between second and third. And the first pitch is outside to Reeve Boyd, 1-0. So it's now 3-2 lefties over the AppleSox. Tying run over at third. Schuber's really going to have to bear down here. He gets the called strike, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Schuber out of the stretch. That one's lined in the center. Jackson going back, and that one's out of the reach of his glove. Looked like he misplayed that one too. So Putnam crosses the plate. Boyd will dig into second with an RBI double. And all of a sudden, we're tied at 3 in the 7th. And 4 consecutive hits for the AppleSox. 4 rockets at that, and that's going to be it for Colby Schuber. Here comes Matt Acker. He's going to take the baseball from him. We're going to get a pitching change here at Civic Field, everybody. 2 outs and a tie game in the top of the 7th. Welcome back, everybody. So we're at a tie game at 3. West Penninger will be the new pitcher for the Lefties with 2 outs and Boyd at second. First pitch to Sebastian David is outside, 1-0 the count. So Schuber's done for the day. Boyd out there at second is his responsibility, so Schuber's line is not done yet. Outside again, 2-0 the count. Sebastian David is 1 for 2. He singled back in the third. Now, a couple line drives this inning. And some misplays from Alsop in right and Jackson in center. It's one of those things where those line drives right at you are tough as that one's fouled back, but if anything, the first step has got to be back. Definitely not in if there's any doubt. Penninger with a 2.29 ERA, his 9th game, all coming out of the bullpen. 15 2/3 inning, 18 strikeouts, only 6 walks. Well, he's behind 3-1, though. First base is open, but you have Carney waiting on deck. Also, 4 straight hits for the AppleSox. Outside again, ball 4. So it puts men on first and second now. The go-ahead runner for Wenatchee is looming at second. So that'll bring up the leadoff man, Carney. And, of course, a really big game for both teams. The Lefties, this is their second game of their second half schedule. And for the AppleSox, they're trying to hold off the Bells, trying to be the first half champions in the Northern Division. Good fastball in the inside corner, 0-1. So some high leverage moments from Penninger, trying to keep this game tied. The AppleSox have scored 2. Slide step, that fastball just outside. Penninger, one of those guys, kind of hides the ball behind his head, and then he slings it across from a 3/4 arm slot. Foul tipped in and out of the glove of Ott, 1-2. Also one of those guys who throws across his body. So the 6'5" right-hander kind of closes off his leg kick and then just throws it right across his body. Here's the 1-2. That slider stays outside, 2-2. Penninger wanted it. He started to walk off the mound. I thought it was outside too. So Penninger comes set again. Deuce is wild. Here's the 2-2 at 2 outs. At the knees for a called strike 3. For the second time in this ball game, Frankie Carney upset with a call from the umpire. He goes down looking for the second time tonight. So Wes Penninger comes in, able to get an out to keep the game tied. But the damage was done by the AppleSox. They played a couple runs, the big blows coming on the Reeve Boyd double, as well as the Izzy Lopez double. 3-3 is our score as we get ready for the 7th inning stretch. Okay, so we have a new ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-3 is our score. The AppleSox put up 2 runs of their own in the top half of the inning. MJ Kim, Roberto Nunez, Trent Jackson. Check swing, and they say Kim went around on that one, or the home plate umpire said he did. So Kim is 0 for 2. Strikeout in the second, flew out to center in the fourth. way out in front of a breaking ball from Keneally, 0-2. So Keneally came on in relief of Quincy Vassar through a 1-2-3-6. That one's lined softly, right side. It's going to dunk in over the head of the first baseman, Amundsen. The second baseman, Carney, picked it up, but Keneally wasn't over there to cover. The Texas League of Texas Leaguers right there. It's a base hit for Kim. So now a base runner for Nunez. At one point, he was the league leader, or among the top 2 league leaders in RBIs. He's dropped from that spot. Part of it just is the lefty struggling offensively largely through the past week. He hasn't had a lot of guys. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities to drive guys in, especially in the leadoff spot. Ahead 1-0. That one's ripped through the hole on the right side for a base hit. Kim will stop at second. First and second, nobody out for the lefties. Here come Port Angeles. And Nunez now 3 for 4. That'll bring up Trent Jackson. Jackson with the 2-run homer coming back in the first. It's also struck out and flown out to center. So here's the final line for the AppleSox starter, Quincy Vassar. As time is called, we're going to have a meeting on the mound. They're going to bring the entire infield in, too. So 3 runs allowed from Vassar, all of them earned, scattering 5 hits. 7 strikeouts, no walks. He did have the hit batter against Rose. Well, there's definitely a lot of stretching going on by the AppleSox bullpen. Can't really see the bullpen itself as far as somebody warming up is concerned. The lefties' bullpen is quiet, so we'll be seeing Penninger come back out for the 8th. Boy, these umpires have really let these mound visits go a while. Longer than I'm used to seeing. So first and second, nobody out for the lefties. Jackson's going to be the scheduled hitter. Well, he is going to be the hitter. He's standing right there. What am I talking about? Lefty's trying to answer back after allowing a couple runs to the AppleSox. All right, so the meeting concludes. Everybody will go back to their spots for the AppleSox. And now I wonder, I know you had the home run earlier. And granted, Jackson has hit the ball hard twice today. Do you think about bunting with him? Well, the AppleSox thinks there's a chance of it. Amundsen at first is playing right at the lip of the infield grass. Oh, look out. A snap throw over to second, and it goes off the glove of Carney and into center field. Kim goes to third. The throw is high. And what's going to be the call here? The ball looked like it deflected off of AppleSox players by the dugout. Matt Acker is pointing over there emphatically. He's going to have some words for the home plate umpire. So there was a pickoff attempt to try and get Kim at second base. Keneally ended up spinning around. It bounced off the glove of Carney, and they're going to award Kim home plate. That is the correct call. They absolutely got that right. The ball did, and Acker is now emphatically pointing Nunez, get your butt over the third base. So it's now 4-3 lefties. There's going to be 2 errors charged on that play. The first one goes to Carney to allow the ball to get into center field, and then you have to give an error to the center fielder, Hennington, to allow Kim to come across to score and Nunez to get to third. So 4-3 lefties. And Jackson is still waiting on his first pitch after all that. There was all sorts of wild action going on for the Wenatchee infield. It didn't even look like Jackson squared around the bunt. And finally, the first pitch to Jackson is a fastball low. Wow, that was something else. So let's see. E4 and E8. As that one's lofted in the right center, Hennington on the run. Hennington will make the catch. Nunez will tag. He'll get in pretty easily. The throw comes into second base. A sacrifice fly for Trent Jackson. It's now 5-3 lefties. And only one out. That's really good, too, to see the lefties able to take advantage of a couple miscues. We saw back in the third, the lefties able to get 2 men aboard with 1 out, all due to errors. Frankie Carney's committed 3 errors tonight as well. A bit of a flip from last night. The lefties made 5 errors just a night ago. Really ugly night from them on the field. I mean, from the 7 runs that the AppleSox picked up, they only had 4 RBIs. And now already 4 errors. Yeah, 4 errors for the AppleSox. And twice having 2 errors in 1 inning. So it looks like Ethan Young has grabbed a bat. And he's going to pinch hit for Taylor. Good rip at that one. He fouls it straight back. So another RBI for Jackson. He already has 3 ribbies tonight. 5-3 lefties, just like that. That one's popped up. Well, a little more than popped up. It's in the center field. Hennington, he started back, then he comes in, a little into the left center alleyway, and he's able to put it away. So Young is retired. And with 2 outs, it brings up Choi. And Taylor did get the start in the designated hitter spot, so assume that's where Young will stay. First pitch curveball's in for a strike to Choi. 0 for 3 tonight. He lined out sharply to right his last time. Also reached on an error by Carney. 1-1 the count to Choi. That one's hit hard in the center field. Hennington on the run. Oh, he's going to get there pretty easily. He'll put that one away. So that retires the side. The lefties only needed 1 hit to play 2 runs. Taking advantage of a double error. Yeah, double error and a sacrifice fly. They now lead 5-3 heading into the 8th. Wes Penninger will get back to work for the lefties. All right, Wes Penninger will get back to work. Now stake to a 2-run lead. 5-3 lefties over the AppleSox. First pitch is right down the chute for a strike to Mason Strong. He'll be followed by Amundsen and the cleanup hitter Williams this inning. Low 1-1. This will be a really good win for the lefties to pick up, especially with a couple of the breaks that they've had. That one nailed Strong right in the upper thigh. I doubt that was intentional. Well, I don't think it was. I mean, it brings the tying run to the plate, but that was a fastball, and that squared him up pretty good. So a hit batter now. We saw Rose get hit on the helmet with a pitch earlier. And, of course, we did have a little bit of fireworks last night, I mentioned before, with a couple ejections. So that brings up Amundsen. He's 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 8 in this series. Looking to pick up his first hit against the lefties. Hit the ball well to center his last time up, as that pitch misses outside. Still a dangerous hitter regardless, though. The league leader in home runs coming into play at 6. Next closest is 4. The lefties will set up to turn 2. Outside again, 2-0. Some more chatter now coming from the AppleSox dugout, trying to get in ahead of Penninger. Just got to bear down if you're Wes. Just trying to get out. Big swing and a miss from Amundsen. He had a tie game on his mind with that one. Well, he steps out and he'll try and gather himself. Wes is all ready to go. He's just waiting for Easton to dig back in. Good lead at first from Strong. I doubt he'll go anywhere, though. His run doesn't matter. Outside again, 3-1. So Penninger has missed in virtually the same spot 3 times this at bat. Well, time is called, and Penninger will get a new baseball. Now the lights have just turned on at Port Angeles, or at Civic Field. Now Penninger in set. Here's his 3-1. That misses high, ball 4. So the tying runs are now on base with nobody out for the AppleSox. So a hit batter and a walk to start the inning for Wes. And we're going to get a meeting on the mound. Earl Smith came running out there. The new coach for the Lefties, once he's finished getting up to speed, he'll be taking over the managerial spot for Port Angeles. Yeah, he got into town to manage last night's game. Spent better part of 25 years coaching high school ball at Cathedral City as well as Palm Springs High School. Also spent quite a bit of time working with the Palm Springs Power summer collegiate organization in Palm Springs. I was very surprised to hear from Lefties owner Matt Acker some of the good ties he has with the Palm Springs Power organization. Because that's where I was last summer and last winter with their winter league. Yeah, he knows old Andrew Starkey pretty well. I guess the baseball world is a pretty tight-knit group overall. Showing bunt is Williams. It's up the first base line. It's a fair ball. Penninger picks it up. Out is the call at first. Really athletic play by Wes. Able to barehand it, flip it over to Barrett Rose covering while Penninger was falling down on the play. Well, it's a successful sacrifice for Williams. Up to third goes Mason Strong. Up to second goes Amundsen. So a base hit could tie the game for Wenatchee. So sacrifice 1-3 for those keeping score back home. Kyle Hennington doubled and scored back in that 2-run 7th. The first of 4 consecutive hits for Wenatchee. Of course, he had 2 balls in that inning misplayed by Alcibin Wright and Jackson in center. But granted, all 4 of those hits were absolutely squared up. Schuber, who was excellent, just wore down a little bit towards the end of his outing. That one's popped up into the screen, 0-2 the count. The Lefties, of course, playing the infield back, leading by 2. Gladly will they concede an out for a ground ball, or concede a run for a ground ball out. Hennington working out of the stretch. Here's the 0-2 to Hennington. Swung on and missed. Big-time strikeout for Wes Penninger. A little extra oomph as he receives the ball back from Halen Ott. Well, a big one right there. 2 outs now with the tying runs remaining at second and third. And that'll bring up Nick Putnam. Good fastball, 0-1 the count. Putnam singled his last time up. Again, one of those 4 consecutive hits for the AppleSox back in the 7th. 5-3 Lefties in the 8th, leading by 2. A check swing and a good play by Ott. I have a feeling I'll be saying that quite a bit for this next month. Good play, Ott. Athletic play by Ott. Strong throw by Ott. Here's the 1-1. Up and in, 2-1. Well, you have first base open, albeit you will be putting the go-ahead run on. Because you have Lopez waiting on deck, who really annihilated the ball his last time up. Now 2-1 on the outside corner, 2-2. Putnam took a couple hops at home plate. I guess he wanted that fastball back. Perhaps looking off speed. Penninger 1 strike away from working out of a jam in the 8th. Here's his 2-2. Fouled straight back. This is what it's all about. Lefties trying to hold on. 5-3 over the AppleSox. Top of the 8th, 2 outs. The tying runs on 2nd and 3rd. Here's his 2-2 again. Upstairs, 3-2. Might have overthrown that fastball just a little bit. The AppleSox dugout has had a lot of chatter from there over the past 2 innings. Penninger comes set. Here's his payoff. Just barely getting a piece of it is Putnam. Just barely. Penninger got him out in front of a breaking ball that time. Will he go back to the fastball? Here's the 3-2 again. Popped up into the screen. It's been like this virtually the whole season. You have that overhanging screen just sitting right above home plate. Normal circumstance, that's probably an out to the catcher. Longer looking from Penninger. He comes set again. A good at bat from Putnam. The 3-2 again. That one's out to right. Alsop goes back on it. He has it lined up, and he puts it away to retire the side. Wes Penninger, some big-time pitching from him, working around the leadoff hit by pitch and a walk, stranding the tying runs at 2nd and 3rd. We're through 7.5 here at Civic Field. The Lefties clinging to a 5-3 lead. Well, here we go for the bottom of the 8th, everybody. Owen Alsop, Barrett Rose, and Brock Mayer, the scheduled hitters. First pitch from Michael Connealy is ripped back up the middle. Carney over to get on the hop, throws on the run. That was a pretty good play from Frankie Carney at second base to get Alsop. I thought that ball was going to get through. It looked like Carney was playing Alsop a bit more towards the middle to pull. Well, either way, 1 out.
Number 20 from University of Missouri at St. Louis, Barrett Rose.
Connealy back on to work his 3rd inning out of the bullpen in relief of Quincy Vassar. First pitch, curveball is high to Barrett Rose. 0 for 2 with a couple punch-outs, also hit by a pitch. Connealy still working out the stretch. That one's on the inside corner. Rose not a fan of it. He has some words for the home plate umpire on that one. Shrugged his shoulders, immediately glared his head back towards him. Well, the conversation's over. Now 1-1, a little outside, 2-1. You always got to be careful if you're a hitter, or frankly, if you're a pitcher. saying too much to the umpire or showing him up. That's at the knees, 2-2. Rose not happy with that one. He thought it was low. Strong reaction from him. A couple more words for the umpire. Well, you're going to have to protect now if you're Barrett. He's going to look for any reason to punch you out. That one's hit hard, back towards the middle. Carney, that one's off his glove. Tried to make the play on the backhand. We'll see how that one scored. Rose runs well. It would have been a tough play to get him either way. So for now, a one-out base runner for the Lefties. And it looks like it's going to go down as a base hit. Well, Barrett will appreciate that one. He's now 1 for 3. It's now the 7th hit of the game for the Lefties. As Brock Mayer will dig in. Came in to pinch hit back in the 6th. 0-1 the count to him. Ended up bouncing, well, officially bounced out to the catcher on a pitch that he, me, and every other Lefties faithful thought bounced and hit him in the box. The umpires thought otherwise. 1-1 the count on the curveball. Well, Mayer steps out, looking down to Matt Acker in the third base coach's box to get some signs. Fouled straight back, 1-2 the count. I think the whole stadium at that point. Matt Acker was a little louder on that exchange to Mayer before the previous pitch. The whole stadium went quiet. Even I looked down there to try and figure, what was he saying? So 1-2 the count. Rose at first after the infield single. Lefties leading by 2. That one's bounced over to third. Boyd is up with it. He goes to second for 1. Back to first, not in time. Pretty good play by Boyd to start that play and get the lead runner. So Rose is retired. Mayer reaches on the fielder's choice.
Number 30 from Whitman College, Halen Ott.
Well, that brings up Halen Ott. He's been tremendous behind the plate tonight. Looking for his first hit as a lefty. Curveball a little outside, 1-0. 0 for 3 tonight. He had 209 this past season for Whitman College. Check swing, doesn't matter, called a strike. 3 doubles, 3 RBIs to his credit this past spring, coming in 43 at-bats. Well, we'll definitely get his share of at-bats with the Lefties. Little outside, 2-1. And you know, if you're a catcher and the home plate umpire likes you get the benefit of the doubts. A couple close pitches right there. Pretty good swing. Might have broken his bat. Looped out to left. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Uh-oh. Better be careful your Rose. Rose is going to be out at second. Took a very nonchalant, lazy turn around the second base bag. The left fielder Strong threw behind him to retire the side. So a couple base hits for the Lefties in that inning. Ott able to pick up his first hit as a lefty. 7-4 on that put out to second base. We're through 8 full at Civic Field. We go to the top of the 9th. C.J. Lewis coming in to try and shut the door when we return. All right, everybody. Top of the 9th inning. New pitcher for the Lefties, C.J. Lewis. In the face, the bottom of the order for the AppleSox. The first pitch is at the knees for a strike. CJ has been electrifying. His 14th game of the season coming out of the bullpen, 20 2/3 innings. He's among the top three innings guys as far as relievers are concerned in the West Coast League. 21 strikeouts, only 10 walks, trying to pick up his 3rd save. He's ahead 0-2 to Lopez. Had an RBI double his last time up. 1-2 the count. Lewis working out of the stretch. His 1-2 swung on and missed. Nasty breaking ball right there. Lopez did not have a chance. 1 away in the 9th.
Number 33, Reed Boyd.
Now they'll bring up Reeve Boyd. He's 1 for 3 today. He doubled back in the 7th. Part of that 2-run 7th inning for Wenatchee to initially tie the game at 3. The Lefties struck back with 2 unearned runs of their own in the 7th, aided by a couple errors in the field. Foul ball, 0-1 the count to Boyd. Lefties trying to snap a 5-game losing streak coming into play tonight. Beg your pardon, the 6-game losing streak. Check swing, and yes, he did go around, says the first base umpire. 0-2 the count to Boyd. Thanks for that one, Griff. I had the thing up right here. Couldn't count it right. So 0-2 the count. Lewis dealing to Boyd. Here's his pitch. Swung on and missed. That time with a fastball. Back-to-back punch-outs for CJ. 2 away in the 9th. The AppleSox down to their final out. And it'll be the 9th man, Sebastian David. He walked his last time up in the 7th, 1 for 2 overall. Well, he had the leadoff man, Carney, looming. You got to get a base runner if you're Wenatchee. That first one's at the knees. David not pleased with that call. 0-1 the count to him. Lefties looking to move to 1-1 in their second half schedule. Low 1-1. CJ and the Lefties trying to deal a crushing blow to the AppleSox. Their goals of trying to clinch first place in their first half standings. On the ground is short. Choi bobbles it, comes back up with it over the first. In time, he's able to recover. C.J. Lewis comes on, records his 3rd save of the season for the Lefties, setting the AppleSox down 1-2-3 in the 9th. A back-and-forth ball game, everybody. The Lefties able to come out on top, snapping a 6-game losing streak, moving to 1-1 on their second half schedule. The AppleSox are going to have to hope for a little bit of help coming from the Bellingham Bells coming into play tonight. Only 1 game behind them as the first half leaders in the Northern Division for the West Coast League. Well, how about that? This game was barely 2 hours old, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for us here at Civic Field. 5-3 Lefties over the AppleSox. It was a pleasure, everybody, being back on the air with all of you. Such a quick game. I still have a lot to catch you guys up on as far as the past week is concerned. I'm Evan Schmeiser. Matt Ackers, the owner of the Lefties. Griff McClellan is the live stream director. So long for now. We'll see you right back here on the Peninsula Public Access Station and the West Coast League app. 6:35 first pitch tomorrow. The rubber match of the Lefties and the AppleSox.